Please join with me in consciousness as we spend the next Please join with me in consciousness as we spend the next 15 minutes in affirmative meditation. I will do it in the first person, so please allow the words that I now speak to be the words of your own heart. Take a deep breath and just relax. Know that you are safe. And just get comfortable. As I relax into this knowing, I know that I am deserving. I deserve all good. All good. I now allow myself to move past all the negative, restrictive thinking. I release and let go of limitations. I bless my parents. I love them and I go beyond them. I choose to have my own thoughts, my own beliefs, and move beyond that which I was taught. I have free will. I have the ability to choose. I know in my mind I have total freedom. I now choose to raise my consciousness. I am willing to see myself differently. I am willing to create new thoughts about myself and about my life. My new thinking becomes new experiences. I now know and affirm that I am at one with the prospering power of the universe. I now prosper in a number of ways. Unlimited possibilities lie before me. I deserve life. I deserve a good life. I deserve love, an abundance of love. I deserve good health, and I allow good health to be my reality. I deserve to live comfortably. I deserve to have more than enough money for everything that I choose. I deserve joy and happiness. I deserve freedom to be all that I can be. And I deserve even more than that. I deserve all good. The universe always says yes, and always manifests my new beliefs. I accept this prosperous life with joy, with pleasure, and with gratitude, for I am deserving. I accept it. I know it to be true. I am safe and secure at all times. Love surrounds me and protects me. I am filled with energy and enthusiasm. My body heals easily and rapidly. The world is a safe place. I know I am safe. I am at total peace with life. I am healthy and whole. Good health is mine now. I release all my past beliefs. Life loves and supports me. I live in a friendly universe. I am safe. My mind is at peace, and all is well, always. I allow life to flow through me. I allow life to flow through me as me, for I am a part of divine intelligence. Today I am willing to move forward with ease, joy, and grace. I am gentle with my body. I love myself. I give myself permission to be well. I am responsible for my experiences. Every thought I think is creating my future. So today I choose to make my thoughts good ones, empowering ones, loving ones. I choose to let go of all of my patterns of resentment, criticism, guilt, and self-hatred, and love myself instead. I know I have thoughts, and I know my thoughts can be changed. I am the architect of my life and my thoughts. As I release the past and forgive everyone, I also choose to forgive myself. I approve of myself. I accept who I am. I accept that I am not broken. I do not need to be fixed. I am a perfect, divine being, just the way I am. I love myself. And I know my point of power is in this present moment. So right now, I choose to say, I love me. I am at peace. Every cell of my body is at peace. My thoughts are at peace. And from this peaceful place, loving others is easy. Loving me and accepting me is easy. I look at change and say, it's only change. I am safe. I notice my feelings and know that it is safe to express my feelings. I am at peace with myself and with all life. My inner vision is clear. I easily hear my inner voice, my gut feeling. I know it always tells me the truth. am lovable and everybody loves me. And I choose to love everyone as well. For it is always give and take. And I know as I give, I also receive. So I begin by loving me and blessing everyone in my life. I love who I am. My life is a success. I know it is unfolding even better and better every moment of every day. I choose to go beyond my old fears and limitations. I know everything is possible with God, and I am one with God. I experience life through me. And it's in this moment that I give myself permission to relax and allow. I am at peace. I release my stress with ease. I have the power and strength and knowledge to handle everything in my life. Love surrounds me, protects me, and nourishes me. I live in a friendly universe. All my good is always available to me. Right now, I choose to notice all my good. I radiate acceptance, and I am deeply loved by others. I know that as I am, the world shows up the same way. Today I choose to be a deliberate co-creator of my life. I choose joy, peace, prosperity, vitality, and amazing abundance in every way. It is mine now, and I say yes to it. In this moment, I allow and welcome change. I am open to the wisdom within. I relax into the flow of life and let life provide all that I need easily, comfortably. I deserve it. I am willing to create new thoughts about myself and my life. I am powerful and capable. I love and appreciate all of myself. I give myself permission to change. I take the time again to fully recognize that I am one with Spirit. This beautiful divine essence that permeates all things seen and unseen. And I am at the center of it. And I know that I am the architect of my life through all my deep-held feelings and beliefs. So it is in this moment that I am open and willing to change the beliefs that no longer serve me. With a grateful, grateful heart that all of the insights come to me easily and gracefully. I release the how to Spirit. I know it is already done. I rejoice in this knowing. Gratefully I release. And I breathe in the breath of life. And I let go everything unlike it. I am supported, I am safe, I am prosperous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please join with me in affirming. And so it is.
When I'm standing in the shadows and I can't see the light, when I'm waiting at the crossroads and can't tell wrong from right, I think about your stories, I think about your life. I remember what you told me, and I know I gotta try. That's the thing about everyday heroes, everyday heroes. Help us discover that we all can be somebody's everyday hero, everyday hero. You are an everyday hero to me. Everybody has a worry and it stands in our way. But if we're gonna stop dreaming, what a steep price to pay. We can take a look around us, anywhere we go. Somebody's gonna remind us, and it's someone we know. I'm talking about everyday heroes, everyday heroes. Help us discover that we all can be somebody's everyday hero, everyday hero. You are an everyday hero to me. I hear what you're saying, I know what you mean. Heaven knows it ain't easy, but just listen to me. Everyday heroes, everyday heroes. Help us discover that we all can be somebody's everyday hero, everyday hero. You are an everyday hero to me. You are an everyday hero to me. each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. Twist and turns, unexpected, day by day moving on. I don't have all the answers, come what may, right or wrong. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. Crashing waves touch the shore. Time moves faster every day. Ebb and flow, no control. All that's left to say, all we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Yes, I do. Choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. I choose love. We are a part of each other. I choose love. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Hamilton. Welcome to all of you who are joining us online. If there's anybody visiting here for the very first time, we usually have a welcome package, and you can see me after the service. I'll be happy to give you that. My name is Marcia Daly, and I will be your presider for today. So everything that we receive, we give 10% of it back out into the community, and we are blessing this quarter City Kids and Unity Canada. So let's begin with The Change. Let the Change Begin, written by Jana Stansfield and sung for us by our very own Emilio.
We cannot change the world we see till change begins in you and me. We change the world around us when the change begins within. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. cannot change the world we see till change begins in you and me. Change the world around us when the change begins within. So let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. The lesson from the willow tree is strength and flexibility. When nothing seems to go my way, it's time to learn to sway. So let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. Patiently, courageously, be the change you wish to see. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. Let the change begin. Ooh. Let the change begin. Let the change. Let the change. Let the change. Let the change. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. Let the change begin. 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 Let the change begin within.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Ann Alkangas, and let's begin with an opening prayer, which is really just my way of connecting with the all that is that creates my life. So close your eyes if that's comfortable, and allow the whirling thoughts that are going on in your head to just be set aside for a moment, and bring your attention to your heart center. For this is where I connect with the all that is. The essence of life, the resource, the creator. And I know that I am one with it. And it always says yes to who I am being. So today I choose to be optimistic, hopeful, joyful, loving, trusting, and curious. So with a grateful heart, I know it is already done. I let go and let it be so. Please join with me in affirming. And so it is. And I am the thinker that thinks the thoughts, by Sue Riley. A great song for today.
I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape ask me what am I am beauty, I am joy, I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. Thanks for I can choose to be the light and brighten someone's darkest night. I'm so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life.
Today's absolute word, written by Reverend Paul Hasselbeck, is freedom. And the affirmation, I am divine, I am free to be. At times I may feel hemmed in by circumstances, limited by lack of opportunity, or faced with an unwelcome situation with seemingly no viable choice. When that happens, I feel anything but free. Rather than despair, I find freedom in my limitless ability to express from the awareness of my divinity. Shifting my perspective from the limits of the world to the expanse and perfection of my divinity, I am at peace and free. I relax and remember that no earthly trouble is greater or more enduring than my fundamental divinity. My divinity consists of unchanging principles and laws. I claim my divine principle of power. I feel strong beyond mere human strength. I release limiting beliefs and reclaim any power of or importance I have previously attributed to my problems or even others. I feel free and unlimited.
Yes. What do you want? Where do you want to go?
Wonderful. So this month, we're looking at liking the unlikable and putting a spiritual slant on it. Does anybody have unlikable things in their life? A few, right? So this is to look at it perhaps in a different way and how you might move through it in a more positive way. So I'd like to focus on opinion. Is it fact or truth? And what is opinion anyways? And understanding how we think. Because really the fundamental of how our lives, our individual lives are created, our reality is created, is through our thinking and what we believe and expect is going to happen in life. So let's look a little deeper on that. So here's some honest questions, and I'd like for you to really think about these. You don't necessarily have to answer them out loud. I'd prefer that you didn't, because otherwise it'll take too long. But are your beliefs, opinions, facts or truths? And we'll get deeper into that one. Are you willing to shift your beliefs when new information shows up? And have you noticed that that has happened? Maybe kicking and screaming. Can you change your mind when you're proven wrong? Oh, I hate being proven wrong, but then I have to, right? Do you like being proven wrong? Yes, sometimes. Can you accept facts when they contradict something dear to you? That's a tough one, isn't it? And yet, what are you going to do? Stay in that place or move on? So what do you do when a loved one disagrees with a core value? Maybe that's why there's so many divorces. I don't know. So let's explore opinions and facts and this word truth that spiritual people tend to throw around, and returning to a child's mind. So what is an opinion? So this is from Mrs. Google. A personal belief, viewpoint, or preference. So would you agree with that? So it's a subjective and it's shaped by experience. So subjective means it's in your mind. It's not a hard, concrete thing. And it's shaped by experience. So would you say that your opinions have come from experience? Generally. Sometimes from someone else telling you and then you agree with them because you happen to agree with them. So it doesn't require objective evidence. So you can have opinion, but you don't really have any proof for it. You just somehow have an opinion about it. Would you say that's true? So here's an example. Classical music is the most soothing genre. That isn't everyone's opinion, is it? Or I don't like something. Let's say I don't like raw onions, but that's not your opinion necessarily. Maybe you love them. So what's a fact? Verifiable and supported by evidence. Would you agree? Can evolve with new discoveries. Example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius at sea level. Change the altitude and the boiling point changes. I couldn't think of anything warm and fluffy for this one. What is truth with a capital T? So spiritual truth is, they say universal, which means everywhere, eternal, which means it's never ending, unchanging, and foundational. So we're going to dig a little deeper into this idea of truth so that you can start to think about the truth with a capital T. So it's also, these are statements. Love is foundational, is a truth. So it is a commonly believed idea in New Thought, in spirituality, that love is at the core, at the center of everything. That it's not evil or bad, that it is love. So would you say that you agree with that? And that God always says yes. Now this one's a stickler for some people, because maybe you've had an experience where God didn't say yes, or you thought God didn't say yes. And I'll dig a little deeper in a bit about that. Prayer is effective. How many would agree or disagree? Some people agree. Some people say, hey, I prayed about that like till the cows came home, and only the cows came home and the prayer didn't. Everything contains good. So even the worst things in the world contain good. Do you believe that? That's again a truth with a capital T. But again, let's dig a little deeper into that, because I'm kind of poking some of your buttons, right? So in the Science of Mind, which is a form of new thought, a form of spirituality, and it's also a book that was written by Ernest Holmes, he emphasized personal experience. So he basically said, no matter what I say, don't believe me. Prove it to yourself so that you can say from your own core that that is a truth with a capital T. And that's pretty amazing to have a teacher or someone who's guiding you in your spiritual journey say that, right? Because normally we're supposed to be the expert, right? We sit on the hot seat and we're the expert. The thing is that in this way of thinking about spirituality and your interaction with life, you need to believe it for yourself for it to be true for you. Would you agree? So Ernest Holmes also emphasized transformation through thinking. He believed that the way that you thought created your life. And then he went on to prove that the way that you think creates your life. And he believed in direct revelation, which means that you had to have that answer show up for you so you could say undoubtedly that this is true. Now, there's a wonderful series of books, actually. There's two that I can think of offhand, written by Pam Grout. And they are E squared and E cubed are the titles. So, you know, the mathematical squared, E squared. And in them are a number of exercises that you can do to prove that you live in an interactive universe. And the only one I can think of at the top of my head was, think of a very unusual color of car that you would not typically ever see. And then say, God, if you really exist, I want to see this car in this color. And so I remember the first time I did that experiment, I wanted like the wildest, craziest lime green that you could ever see. Well, what did I see but 3 of them that week? So that to me was truth with a capital T. There was something that was listening to me, and it wasn't the algorithm on my phone. It was something beyond that, that was responding to my expectations. So this is an Ernest Holmes quote, "Trust in your own self more than all else." And what he meant by that was that we all have within us a connection to this energy that is all of life, and that it is personal to each one of us. And so someone else might say something, and you think, oh, well, they're really wise, and I really trust them. The thing is that there is more wisdom within you than there is in anybody outside of you, for you. And that's the key. So Unity, which is where you happen to be at a Unity Spiritual Center, the co-founder was Charles Fillmore, and he taught that truth must be demonstrated. So the same as Ernest Holmes, that you need to be able to see it to believe it. And he believed that you need to test spiritual laws. That you can have someone tell you that there's the law of cause and effect, there's the law of reciprocation, there's the law of giving, whatever other spiritual laws you might think about. But test them out to see if they're true. And these Pam Grout books are excellent for that, because there are some great exercises. So I invite you to take a look at that. So trust your realizations as well, because he's saying that when you have an aha moment, you might share it with somebody and they'll go like, oh, that's baloney, or there is no way that can be true. But you have the wisdom within you, and that's true for you. And so to start to trust that, it's a bit like teaching you to trust your own intuition, because that's really what it is. is you connected to all of life and to the wisdom of life that loves you. And then learn from your own experience. Charles Fillmore was very much a put feet to this stuff. Don't just have it intellectual. Practice it. Prove it to yourself so that no matter what somebody else might say, it's true for you, and you begin to create a life that is perfect for you. And a quote, what do you think about it? He would say that in all of his classes. He would teach something and then he would say, what do you think about it? Because there's an old biblical quote, which is, it's done unto you as you believe. And that really is foundational to even what we're speaking about here. I can believe something, and it shows that life shows up that way for me. You can believe something different, and life shows up that way for you. Now, why is that? Because this thing, this energy that we live in, that some people call God, some people call Creator, some people call Source, is personal, but it's also universal. So the humility of not knowing. Have you ever thought about being more open-minded about some of the new ideas that are exposed to you, rather than if you immediately go, there's no way, I'm not listening to any more of this, to really truly be on a spiritual journey that allows you to prove these big T truths? You need to be open to say, I'm willing to at least hear what this new idea is. I'm willing to at least explore it. I may not agree with it afterwards, but I'm willing to explore it. So are you willing to explore? And then you can say this was hooey, or no, it isn't. And it's up to you. And so because I'm in this area of faith that isn't dogmatic like Catholicism and Lutheran and some of the different world traditions, I can have a conversation with someone that thinks differently than I do, and I believe that what they believe is true for them because they believe it. And it shows up as true for them. And I say, good for you, because you believe in something so strongly that it shows up in your life for you. I believe something different, and that shows up in my life for me. And that's really how we can call it Spirit Creator works. Individually with you, but also collectively with all of us. And it's a really interesting dance. So, are you receptive to feedback, for instance? How good are you at receiving feedback from other people? Have you been open to the feedback of the universe, like those 2 green cars or 3 green cars that I saw that week? I was expecting to see green cars, so my expectation drew them out. I don't know where they were normally. And how about valuing perspective? So that was what I was talking about with different faith traditions. It's not to make someone wrong, but to recognize that a really strong belief, whether it be broad-minded or narrow-minded, is going to show up in that person's life exactly that way. And yahoo for them. And yahoo for us, because the same is true for us. And to be willing to have a growth mindset, to say, okay, I think I've got it all figured out, but I'm ready to be blown away by something even better. And that's really the growth mindset. And quieting the ego, which is the one that says, well, we've always done it this way. Everybody else is doing it this way. So maybe you shouldn't ruffle the feathers. Maybe you should just do it the way everybody else is doing. To say, you know what, can you just kind of go over there and have coffee? And I am going to explore this myself. I had 3-day training with AI this week. And it was really interesting because most people say, oh, it's so scary what AI is doing and what it might do and what's it going to do? How is it going to create this world? And oh my goodness. And I said to myself, okay, well, this was free because they were just like with selling condos in Mexico. You know, they give you a free lunch, and then you have to try and buy the condo afterwards. Well, I went for the free lunch, but I didn't buy the condo. So I took 3 days of free lunch. And basically what I found out was that it isn't scary, and you can train it to be specific to you. So the first thing I did when I happened to join ChatGPT. The first thing I did was I said, I want you to be my partner in thinking and helping me to be more creative in my thoughts and to make my daily paperwork and those kind of things simpler. What do you need to know about me so that we can create this relationship? And about 600 words came out of things that it wanted to know about me. And then it said nicely at the end, and you don't have to do this all at once. We can do this like a little bit every day if you would like. And I thought, how wonderful is that? Now, it's not going to ever be my lover or my counselor or my best friend, but it will do things for me that I might normally spend hours and hours doing research for, which I don't care to do. It's not my fun thing to do. It will do that for me if I give it parameters. But the other thing to remember with something like a computer AI is that it's like a child that doesn't know anything about you, anything about what you want. You can't just say, well, find me the best couch, because it will find every couch there is available in the world. But let's say you want an L-shaped couch, and you want the material to be leather, and you want the color to be red, and you want it to be under $5,000, and all of these parameters. When you give it the parameters of what it is that you're looking for to the best that you can do, then it will give you that. And spirit is a bit like that. The only difference is that with spirit, when you ask it for something, if you leave it open-ended, which I mean saying something like, this is what I want, but I also want it to be the best for me, then what spirit does is it's not tethered to particular parameters. It'll say then, okay, you may not know what's best for you, so let me bring you everything that is really good for you into your reality. And that's the difference between AI and working with spirit. But you can train yourself to work with AI, and you can also train yourself to work with spirit. I don't know if you've ever thought of that, but you really can, and I'll tell you some stories in a bit. So returning to a child's mind. So if you think of a child's mind, they're curious, they're playful, they're resilient, they're imaginative, and they're open to possibilities. Kids just don't think about what might be the consequences. They're just, they have a question, they blurt it out. So how about approaching your spiritual journey with a child's mind? What's actually possible for me if I open up to this loving presence that is who I am? So ask why and what if, because the question the assumptions and explore possibilities that adults might dismiss as impractical. Like you'll say something to a kid and they'll say, why? Then you have to come up with an answer, right? It doesn't have to be complicated, but they do ask why. They might say, why is the sky blue? And you think, okay, have to get into physics here. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for a simple response. So can you be more simple rather than intellectual as you explore your spirituality is the question. So reframe the problem as an adventure. So I reframed the problem of learning AI as an adventure. And I decided to have the initial interaction with it as an adventure. Like, what do you want to know if you're going to be my best partner? So maybe you can do that with spirit too. You can say to spirit, as one of your thoughts in the morning when you're meditating, or perhaps you're in prayer, to say, show me how I might have a better relationship with you. What does that look like? And it may show up as someone saying something to you that gets your ideas going. It may be a thought that comes to your mind and you think, gee, it never occurred to me that I was limiting myself and that there is so much more available to me. Does that make sense? So embrace play and experimentation. So let's say you don't care about paperwork, but you want to learn AI. Maybe you are looking for a couch, or maybe you love looking for recipes. Get it to find them for you. Or maybe there's something like gardening that you really like. What would be the best plants for my garden? This is the kind of work I like to do. I like to be out there once a month. What plants could I have? And that kind of thing. And be really specific. So with spirit, you might say, life is really a struggle right now. And I don't feel like I'm as prosperous as I need to be able to be happy and content. So start to fill my mind with ideas on how I might move out of this negative way of being. And you're going to start to have answers. And the answers always come. It's whether you agree with them or listen to them or hear them or do anything about them when they show up, because they will come. They always do. So concentrate on the effort and the steps taken. Rather than just the result, appreciate the hard work, the progress, and the learning throughout the journey. And I know that my spiritual journey has certainly been a lot of bumping up against myself until I came to figure it out. And I still don't have it figured out, but I have a lot figured out. And just like with a computer, and I'm using that as an analogy, I'm going to learn so much, not only about myself, but also about what is possible with someone who will do all the mundane stuff for me. So it's kind of exciting. So make time for boredom and reflection. How many like to be busy all the time? Yeah. And so I'm inviting you to stop long enough that you actually feel bored. You think like, oh my God, I should be spending my time doing something else rather than just sitting here. Because being busy doesn't allow for the creativity to come in, for the ideas to come in. I don't know, but in my busiest times, and maybe I shouldn't admit this, but have you ever daydreamed when you're driving? And then you notice that like, oh, I zoned out there for a moment? Those are those times when spirit comes in, and I have gotten some of the best answers to some of the problems that I have in those zoned out moments. And thankfully, I was still on the road. So I'm not really a dangerous driver. I let Randy drive anyways, so you're safe if I'm on the road. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's another one. So let's say you're struggling spiritually with something. Maybe it's your finances. Said, you know what? I have prayed and prayed and prayed that my finances be in better state, or that my relationship be in a better state. Right away, I know what part of the answer is, because if you say that to me, what you're saying is, I don't have it, I want it. I don't have it, I want it. And what is that Spirit says back? You're saying you don't have it. Okay, you don't have it. Because it responds to who you're being. So if you say, I don't have a great loving relationship, I don't have a great loving relationship, it goes, okay, you don't have a great loving relationship. How about saying, what does a great loving relationship feel like? And then go to that feeling, and Spirit goes, oh, that's how you want to feel. Let me bring you more of that. So it's a little more subtle, but that's how it works. And in finance, it's the same thing. I did a crazy thing when I was first learning all about this, because I'm very visual. And they said, you can imagine more money into your life. And I went, yeah, right. Sure you can. Because Spirit says yes all the time. Okay. I needed to prove it to myself. So I imagined myself, because this was the only way I could kind of get by it, to go through the drive-through of a bank and go to the drive-through window And I imagined getting the little ticky that comes out, and it said what my bank balance was. And it was several $1,000,000, like lots of zeros. They actually went off the page in my mind. And it was a matter of, I think, about 2 weeks of imagining that several times a day. Not that it wasn't possible or anything. I just imagined getting this piece of paper and going, wow, they're going to have to get bigger paper for all this money. And I received a $22,000 inheritance from an uncle that I didn't know had died. So it wasn't millions and millions of dollars, but it saved me at a time when I was really not feeling prosperous. So what might you do to play with the idea of more prosperity or a better relationship or good health? Maybe you're giggling and climbing up 250 stairs when you're in Asia, and that was only a pipe dream at one point. What could you do to be playful? That's really what I'm asking. So the greater the dissonance, the greater the pressure to reduce it. So we have this way of being where if there is struggle, we really want to get out of it. We want to just run away. And in spirituality, it's to say, okay, I notice that that's going on. I notice I'm bumping up against it. How can I turn that negative experience to something positive? What would I rather have instead? So let's say it's the struggling for money. I imagined lots of money in my bank account. What happened? I received $22,000 as an inheritance. And a year later, my husband and I were gifted a home that was worth $200,000. Now, do you think that was a coincidence? Somebody else would say, oh, well, that was coming down the pipe anyways, and, that's just, and yes, you can believe that. And if you believe that, then that's the reality that you're going to have. I believed that I could make myself a magnet for more money in my life, and so it showed up. Does that make sense? So, I am a magnet for money is a big T truth and has continued to be. So what can you make a big T truth in your life? By imagining what you would rather experience, or maybe just what is the best and highest experience I can have because I can't get past the negative thinking. So Brené Brown says, when we're faced with information that challenges what we believe, our first instinct is to make the discomfort, irritation, vulnerability go away by resolving the dissonance. We might do this by rejecting the new information, decreasing its importance, or avoiding it altogether. And none of those things are going to allow for the new experience to happen in any kind of easy way. Can you see that? So the greater the magnitude of the dissonance, or you're bumping up against it, the greater the pressure to reduce the dissonance, says Leon Fessinger. So what's going on right now that could use a child mind for you? That you could let go of the control perhaps, or the expectations that you have, or the past experiences that you've had that say, this is the way it always happens to me. What could you be more curious about in your life right now? So we looked at the difference between opinion, fact, and truth, and why it's important to understand that, and also about the child's mind. And I hope I've left you with more to think about than even believing, and that you'll go out and try to prove some of this for yourself in some way, some playful way. So here's your reflection. Where could curiosity serve you? What area of your life? I love the fact that I was willing to be curious about AI because, boy, I'm so excited. Every morning now when I go to the computer, I think, okay, what can I ask it today? What does it need to know about me today? What belief may be re-examined? So do you have a belief that it's always been this way, so it's going to continue to be this way? Because it doesn't have to. Because as soon as you are open to new possibilities, then Spirit says, yes, let me bring you some. You may not like all of them, but you get to choose then, and you're not limited. And what might you want to prove for yourself? So if you want to prove that God exists, how might you do that? And it can start with things like, and you've heard people say, well, manifest a parking spot, for instance. And that's a simple one to do. But then challenge it with bigger things. Challenge it with bigger things. Because you get to decide.
I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Yes, I'm the one with the power to choose every thought and every belief. I'm the one with the voice inside that has the power to set me free. I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Yes, I'm the only one who knows what's true, for the true self who lives in me. Yes, I'm the only one who's gonna ever know what my body, mind, and soul really needs. And that is why I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Oh, but every time I forget my own power and start doing what I think I should do, I gotta take a step back and pour my soul in, so I can listen to the voice that's true. It always says, I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Yes, I decide what's got to go. Oh, I decide what's got to go. Yes, I decide what matters to me.
What's your takeaway today? That was one hell of a chock full of things to reflect on.
Anybody? Oh, who's Bruce?
Who's taking Bruce's place today? Diane?
Anyone who want to share?
I love Unity parking spots.
So for me, I'm in the same. I'm in the mode of listening to Louise Hay because I want the rest of my life to be the best of my life. So it's wonderful to just get back into it and recognize the thoughts that are still maybe limiting me or holding me back. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to turn around. And feeling, it's not just imagining it, but feeling what it would feel like to have those things in my life, what I really want, and choose. All right, there you go. Next.
What you've been talking about to me is wishful thinking. So you go through your life with wishful thinking. The challenge, of course, is to then make that a reality. And I'm not sure I know how you did it. I'm not sure how I would go about it, other than just thinking about it over and over, is that going to answer the question? I don't think so.
I'd like to add to that. So wishful thinking, first of all, think to yourself, what does that definition mean? Is wishful thinking a wishy-washy thing that sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't? So then you're going to get that kind of result, and perhaps change the verbiage on that to something that feels empowerful, like attractive thinking, perhaps. And then what was the second part that you said?
Well, just trying to channel
What
that, to
you
make
need,
that
what you need
reality,
to do?
as opposed to just wishful thinking, because that seems, with my Catholic strict upbringing,
Yes.
that's wrong. You shouldn't have wishful thinking. You should be content with what you have. So that's always been a challenge. You're telling me that doesn't have to be my reality.
It doesn't,
Which
and
is-
it's to recognize
which is
first that you
exciting.
have that idea,
Isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
and to then say, if I wasn't limiting myself, what might that look like? And start with where you're at, because everyone's in a different place with that. But recognize that you don't even know what's holding you back till you ask the question. And then when you ask the question, that part comes up for you to look at and say, do I still want to stay in this box? Or is this something I want to move forward from? Good one.
Thank you.
I remember talking to you about something and just how you said, listen to what you're saying. And even Amelia, when you just shared down, you said, I want the rest of my life to be the best of my life. And I thought, oh, he needs to take the I want out and just say the rest of my life is, or I choose the rest of my life to be the best of my life. And it's so subtle, you know, you think, because I remember talking to you thinking I had this great affirmation and you said, listen to it. And I thought, oh, that's limiting me. So I'm just grateful for that I can change my mind about something and choose a better belief for me and a truth for me. So, yeah. And I had written something, training AI. I had a story to go with that. Do you think I can remember it? So if I do, I'll share it at the potluck.
So mid-soup, she'll come up with the answer.
I was introduced to Chat GPT this week. I sent a message to my daughter to ask how I can express this communication with an Airbnb possible guest that wanted to stay in my home for like 4 months, and I was like, I don't know if I want that. But she said, ask Julian to teach you about Chat GPT. So he didn't teach me, he did the thing for me. He looked at my message and he said, I would like a more, my daughter told me my message was, no, it was more like a police investigation. So he said, I want to make it more gentle and warm. And so this nice communication came back and I sent it off right away. It was like, oh, yippee, I know how to, I got to learn how to do this now. It was fun.
Hopefully I can say this, it makes sense. Okay, I find myself, I can have a mindset, whatever. I don't question it. I keep the same mindset. And it affects the way I deal with everything, the way I deal with people and so on. If I change it, no matter if it's more negative or more positive, whatever, it changes my mood, my posture, my the way I react with people in the world and so on. And, you know, I think we all know that. We just don't think about it. So that if I choose to tell myself a different story, and if I believe that and I own that, it changes my whole happiness, my mood, the way I react with people, et cetera, et cetera. And to me, that's kind of the core of what you're saying. So, yeah.
No one from home. My. So I know there's one person in this room who manifested a parking spot the other day. As a matter of fact, there were 3. We had choice. I'm like, oh my God, wow, it works. I'm taking away that I can train myself to work with spirit. I have done that in the past, but sometimes I go through the tunnel of, I don't know, it's going to work. But I'm getting better. And I'm particularly fond of asking what if. I did that course with Reverend Pat and the book that What If, and it has totally changed I don't doubt myself as much now because I go into the what if, but it's a what if that's positive. It's not a what if that's negative. And so my mind gets to play around, and like you say, my mood improves. And I'm taking away the questions, the last 3 questions at the end. And my AI story is, I like to cook. And I like to cook for people. But sometimes I'm a little challenged as to what to cook because there's so many things going through my head. So I used AI to plan a dinner that I had. I invited friends over for my birthday, and I gave it the parameters. Somebody's diabetic, somebody doesn't eat watermelon, and so on. And it was really nice what I got. Okay, so much for the AI promotion. Thank you very much, Reverend Ann. Now let's turn our attention to conscious giving. And you may support our ministry, what we're doing today, by sending an e-transfer to admin@unityspiritualcenter.com or checks payable to Unity Spiritual Center. Or if you're here in the sanctuary, you may present your donation by way of an envelope. But let's say that affirmation together. Divine love that I am blesses all I give and all I receive. And we'd ask those of you who are online to support our channel, to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like our videos so that we may be able to do more, provide more content.
All right. It's a beautiful song by Deirdre. bless all the scars they made. I bless them all, the lessons learned. They brought me where I am today. I am free from all the shackles that surround me. Free to choose to give my life new meaning. Free to change, to love and fold my destiny. I am free from all the shackles that surround me. Free to choose to give my life new meaning. Free to change, to love and fold my destiny.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you, Emilio. Know that we're always here to pray with you. So if there's something that you're having a challenge with, then let me know. Put it in a prayer request either here or send me an email at prayer@Unity Spiritual Center, because I know that Spirit is listening. So even if you don't believe, I will believe for you. So let's say this prayer protection together, just as a reminder of the truth, and maybe one day you'll believe it. The light of God surrounds you. I am the light. The love of God enfolds you. I am the love. The power of God protects you. I am the power. The presence of God watches over you. I am the presence. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. And we'll end with the final song, All Is Well.
I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Love and peace, joy and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am loved and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you say all is well. Let me hear you say all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All
So thank you everyone for joining today, and those of you online, thank you so much. Remember that I love you. And today here, for those of you that are here, we're having a lunch. And so please join us, stay and join us. It's absolutely a fabulous time to get together. Bye for now.